Good evening, Jamaica. Thank you for joining me at this challenging time. Those of you listening on radio, watching on television, on Facebook, Instagram, or on Twitter. I'm speaking with you tonight as Jamaica is now at a critical juncture of our COVID 19 containment strategy. In these difficult times brought on by the COVID 19 crisis, we can all take pride in the strength and resilience that Jamaicans at every level are showing as we adapt our way of life to protect ourselves. We all share concerns about the effect on our families, our communities, the national economy, and the country as a whole. In a very special way, we share the grief of the families who have lost 7 members, including a young 4-year-old child. My heart goes out to you. We have seen the doubling of the daily rate, with 169 new confirmed cases added in just 1 week. Far from flattening the curve, the alarming results run contrary to what is expected from the policy being pursued. It is now clear that only a truly national partnership can carry Jamaica forward at this time. Our first priority as leaders must be to protect the people of the country against the spread of the virus. However, we will best protect our people by knowing the extent of the problem, which means that we have to do far more testing than is being done at the present time. At the same time, we must provide economic relief for those who have been most affected by the economic fallout. The response to the crisis will be more effective with greater levels of transparency from the government in its communication with the people on the state of affairs and by avoiding measures that are unaffordable for most citizens and which create undue hardship. It does not help to arrest persons who are going to buy groceries to ensure the survival of their families. We must find the balance between implementing protective public health measures and providing a supporting economic and social environment to sustain life. The government needs to immediately reopen the application period for the compassionate grants for the many Jamaicans who work in the informal economy and who are now earning nothing. The administration can also help the people by increasing the special constituency funding available under the CDF to $10 million for each member of parliament so they can effectively assist in the relief and welfare efforts on the ground. Indeed, especially given their sacrifices and the needs of their own families, the government needs to provide a special risk and hardship payment for all those on the front line. The frontline sanitation workers, all the healthcare workers employed by government, all rank and file policemen and JDF soldiers doing frontline duties, all state-employed public transportation workers, including drivers and conductors. It is the responsibility of the government to bring home Jamaican workers from abroad, and this is a matter of utmost urgency. Also, there are students overseas who have reached out to us, such as those in Barbados and Cuba, whose parents cannot afford to fly them home and who cannot afford to maintain them where they are. Government is in a position to fly these students home, and they should. Each of us has the responsibility to be kinder to each other and not to treat someone with COVID 19 as an outcast. It only makes matters worse to threaten our neighbors with violence if they have coronavirus. Let us listen to the better angels of our nature and be good neighbors in the best Jamaican tradition. Let us take inspiration from our courageous healthcare workers and other first responders. These are serious times. Though the COVID-19 virus has not yet peaked in Jamaica, it has already devastated the country's economy. The tourism industry has effectively closed. The demand for bauxite and alumina on the world market has fallen, and this removes another source of potential foreign exchange earnings. Similarly, remittance flows through Western Union, MoneyGram, and the banks have been negatively affected by the global pandemic. That is why I urge the government to proceed cautiously with the BPOs as one of the few remaining sources of foreign exchange earnings. And remember, many families depend on the income from BPO work to survive. However, we cannot risk the lives of our people. To protect this sector of the economy, the government must establish and enforce new and better standards for their operations. The BPO leaders also have a critical and proactive role to play to protect the industry and invest in the protection of the health of their workers and the communities from which they come. This is time for active, honest partnership and accountability on the part of everyone. Given that there is no vaccine on the horizon, every company in each industry, every organization needs to rethink and retool in light of the new ways in which we will have to operate and succeed when we go forward. However, this must be a planned process to rebuild a new Jamaica, and the timetable of reopening must have the benefit of the best expertise available in the country. The nation would benefit greatly from the establishment of a COVID-19 prevention, planning, and oversight committee. This CPOC, if you will, would enable a much more inclusive planning approach. It is clear that the key to Jamaica's economic recovery is a modern agricultural sector, which provides both food security and builds our capacity for export. Other critical elements of the new Jamaica for CPOC to plan will involve the redesign of businesses and operations in the public and private sectors to meet the changed world by improving e-commerce and digital agility, the equipping of public spaces to provide services to meet the required standards of sanitation and hygiene protocols of a changed consumer, and for a world that may require social distancing for some time until a vaccine is found. With schools being closed, over 300,000 poor students who don't have access to online learning will be left out. Even as we improve access island-wide, we need to design plans for the extensive remedial efforts that will be required when schools reopen. I am encouraged when I see my fellow Jamaicans making masks and distributing them free of cost, when I see persons giving sanitizers to other community members, and taking supplies to the elderly and the disabled. This is the Jamaica that we are. Out of many, we are one people who look out for each other. Let us put people first. Let us build partnerships. Let us work together. Stay safe, and God bless Jamaica, land we love.